The Fighter's Pass isn't the only source of DLC Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be getting. The last Nintendo Direct confirmed Ultimate will be getting even more DLC. The sheer thought of that is crazy to still think about, even a week later. But what characters can we expect or predict? How many? I've already made a video discussing the potential surrounding the kind of newcomers Ultimate will get after the Fighter's Pass, along with my expectations. TLDR, I think the bar for newcomers is no non-game characters. I don't think Spirits deconfirm anyone because people are debating over a PNG and a title, and assist trophies have the least likely chance based on precedent, but because it's DLC and the team's been able to keep track of what kinds of newcomers people want after the fact, I don't think they can be completely counted out. I'm expecting around 5 characters again, but there's some reason to expect 10. Between that, what characters to expect, etc. If you want to see the entire spiel, check out that video. Because we don't know how many characters are coming, and for the sake of variety, I'll be predicting 10 of the likeliest characters in my opinion. Characters I personally feel, in my opinion, have a very likely shot, which is all subjective. Notice how I'm emphasizing this is my opinion and take, meaning you don't gotta take this as fact. It's annoying I have to highlight this, even after I say personally or in my opinion, because as fun as it is to speculate Smash characters, there's a good chunk of you out there that love being toxic ass people that want to treat others who want certain characters like garbage. I'm sorry your life's been so horrible and sad that you care that much about speculation over a video game to resort to being scum towards others behind your computer. The fact is, anyone who wants anyone is as valid as you, more so if they're respectful and are reasonable about it, and you won't get much out of being an asshole in life. But bear in mind, I'm not guaranteeing these people will be in, that's the whole point of predicting, but I do expect a few, if not 5 of these 10 characters in, and even if I'm wrong on like all of these, don't mistake it for being disappointed or upset. Confused maybe, but we have so many characters in Ultimate. We got Banjo, K-Roll, I still got my waifu Palutena, and considering we're just getting more content alone, I'm not going to feel upset or sad by that much, if at all. So, without further delay, here are 10 characters I'm predicting will be DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate after the Fighter's Pass, but who knows if I may be lucky with one of these characters popping up in the Fighter's Pass. First character I personally feel is a lock, that I think most of you can agree with me on this, is Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Sakurai stated in the Smash Direct that was last November, he couldn't make the roster because of roster planning taking place before they could account for Xenoblade 2, which is why we got a costume, and 3 Xenoblade Chronicles 2 songs. Considering we have Mii costumes of Link, Samus, Mennonite Chrom, King K. Rool, Inkling, etc., I think you could guess I don't feel Mii costumes deconfirm anyone, similar to my thoughts on Spirits, but more apparent and palpable in terms of evidence. Not to mention Sakurai outright acknowledged Rex was a highly requested character at the time, and expressed sympathy for Rex supporters. Given Xenoblade's been on a good increase in sales and popularity, especially with the remake of the first game coming soon, not to mention the moveset potential and Xenoblade love is already laid out in front of everyone in Smash and Xenoblade, Rex feels like a guarantee. I'll be shocked if he isn't at least considered again. Second character is another one that's been a request for a while now, and that's Geno. Banjo and King K. Rool have proven relevancy means jack if you're extremely popular, so that argument's finally gone in the garbage, and I'm sure you know my thoughts on the whole Spirits debacle. Otherwise, Geno has been in the popular category for quite some time now. Sakurai's mentioned in the past he's wanted Geno ever since Brawl, as he thinks he'd be a great addition. Brawl had a handful of lost music tracks, one of which was a Mario RPG remix, Beware of Forest Mushrooms, and ever since Smash 4, he's been a popular request. If you really want to throw the Mii costume thing into the debate, Geno's yet to get one in Ultimate, despite he had one in Smash 4 along with splash art text, and Nintendo's been cracking down on music from their games and videos from popular channels and with lots of views taken down. One game in particular fitting that bill being Super Mario RPG. Granted, I could be digging too deep into this, but it feels like there are not just too many coincidences surrounding this, but it's preceded with a good amount of logic to expect the outcome. Not to mention Geno has a good amount of moves and ways and improvisation, it wouldn't be that hard to put him in Smash as a fighter. Geno feels extremely likely at this point, mainly because Sakurai's considered him significantly before, and he's become another popular contender since. Third character I'll bring up is Sora from Kingdom Hearts. If you've been following Ultimate Newcomer speculation, Sora has been really high on a lot of people's lists. He's probably one of, if not the most popular newcomer request as of late, at least for third parties. A moveset, again, wouldn't be an issue either with his Keyblade and other abilities. If the Disney icon and characters were an issue, they'd likely repeat Cloud's scenario where Cloud only got him, a stage, 2 songs, and that's basically it. They could avoid getting more licensing with other Disney characters because those are animated characters. The Kingdom Hearts specific ones, however, like Sora and his other friends that look like him, are video game originated characters. Mainly the only obstacle the team would have to go through is getting rights and permission from Disney, which over a video game wouldn't be that difficult. Since we got Banjo-Kazooie in, whom is now an IP under Microsoft, Nintendo's rival company, Disney allowing rights for their character wouldn't be that far off of a stretch, especially since so many people want him in. Fourth fighter on the list is Crash Bandicoot, another third party that would garner a lot of publicity and positive reception. Crash has been another popular third party contender for a while now and recently got his remaster collection on Switch a while ago, along with having a presence on Nintendo platforms in the past. Crash has been a representative of Sony back in the day, even though Activision owns the character, but adding him in would not only spark that classic rivalry Sony had with Nintendo, he'd be a very popular and reasonable fit in the roster. I believe Crash would be a safe bet. Fifth character is another Activision character, whom also had a good presence on Nintendo systems before, along with just getting his Reignited Trilogy on Switch, being Spyro the Dragon. I don't think Spyro is as popular as Crash as far as polls or requests go for Smash. Not saying Smash fans don't want him, only compared to Crash, it's not as easily visible. But he'd also be a very suitable fit for Smash Ultimate. Almost on the same level of Crash as a franchise, he's also very popular and associated particularly with Sony often. This one's more baseless than the others, I will admit, but I'm confident people would probably be content with having Spyro in the game, given the kind of character he is, what abilities he has, his history with Nintendo, and just how popular of a gaming icon he is, along with his Bandicoot partner. Sixth is another third party. I'm gonna go on a limb somewhat and say it'll be an Ubisoft character. Nintendo and Ubisoft have been partners in game development for a long time now, that it's a little surprising Ubisoft or Nintendo haven't approached each other on a character at this point. Recently, they managed to score a crossover game with Mario using one of their IPs, the Raving Rabbids. But am I saying it's the Rabbids in particular? Yes and no. I think they stand a good chance for being so well known at this point, and as weird as it is to consider, they do have a fan base. As far as a moveset, they can have inspiration pulled from Mario plus Rabbids, along with some ideas pulled from their own games. The reason I'm hesitant on them is because there's a much more popular character under Ubisoft's wing that people have been wanting more often, and that's Rayman. Rayman has no need to be explained as to why he's popular and requested by so many. Many consider him the face of Ubisoft and would easily fit in Smash very well. Rabbids have their modern integrity, Ubisoft's still eager on using them as well and or bizarrely as possible, and a growing fandom and major success because of Mario plus Rabbids. Rayman, however, has a classic mark on Ubisoft's past, consistent sales, and a massive fandom that wants him in Smash. Instinct is leaning towards Rayman in my opinion, but there's always a good chance the Rabbids could get in instead or along with Rayman. I feel it'll be either one or the other, maybe both if we're lucky. Seventh is someone I honestly don't want. Steven from Minecraft, and I'm dead serious by the way. Ultimately, I'd get over it, but I don't want Steve. Not at all. Most indies in Smash have yet to graduate to character. I doubt Minecraft will change that, but even with my bias against him, I can't deny he's also another really popular character. You'd be surprised at how many people unironically want him. Not only that, but Minecraft has been one of the most popular games of this past generation. It's on every system ever since last gen minus the Wii, and everyone knows Minecraft. Sakurai approached Microsoft on Banjo-Kazooie, I doubt it'd be that hard trying to get Minecraft in there, especially when it's had no trouble being put on Nintendo systems before. Lucky number 8, Doomslayer, Doom guy from Doom. Doom's been getting a massive presence on Switch as of late, between Doom and the upcoming Doom 64. It's one of the most iconic first-person shooter games and was popularized in partial thanks of the SNES. Not to mention, like most of the characters I've mentioned thus far, he's also very popular. Considering we have Snake, Bayonetta, and Simon, I doubt violence would be a major issue with adding him in. We know they just tone him down and tone down any other major violence to be had. Doomslayer's got a good shot as well. Number 9 is someone you'd think would have been in Smash already at this point, Dixie Kong. Back in Brawl, there were 7 characters cut from the game, one of which was Dixie. She'd be an easy semi-clone to consider like Isabelle to Villager. She's got a couple abilities to keep her different from Diddy. She's a very popular and prominent Donkey Kong character. She's also been a popular contender as a Smash newcomer, if not the most as far as Donkey Kong newcomers go, disregarding King K. Rool. It seems like an obvious choice, and it's weird to see why she isn't even in the game yet. I feel like it's an inevitability, only a matter of time, whether in this DLC or far later in the future. I think now should be it. And lastly, number 10 is a choice that's gonna piss people off, and I know damn well I'm in the minority with this one. Almost anything I say as a joke on this channel is something I try to make obvious or imply obviously. But most of the time otherwise, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't genuine, which this is. Honesty is the best policy. But with Smash speculation, any choice will piss people off, so I guess it doesn't matter. You'll never not avoid anyone being nasty or toxic for the sake of stroking their ego. I think we're gonna get an assist trophy. And once again, this is a guess, not a freaking sourced fact. I'm aware based on precedent. They're hard deconfirmed. But this would normally apply if this were the game upon release or mid-development. This is after the first batch of fighters for DLC. Plus Sakurai released a column for Famitsu where he got on to state basically that as long as there's an opportunity to add more characters and there's an opportunity to please fans, he'll capitalize on that. I'll link it in the description below. There's no hard official confirmation of any basis for the fighters post-pass otherwise. Only speculated conjecture based on multiple people's perspectives. At this point, Sakurai's able to know again the kinds of characters fans really want like before. We have no basis or standard for the DLC fighters post-pass so far. People are putting out polls and requests like mad with assist trophies included in the mix. Anything can literally go with this DLC. Developers can throw anything they feel like in the game, and with Sakurai and Smash, it wouldn't be any different. As for who this assist could be Shadow, could be Springman, or Shovel Knight. But if I had to bet on the most likely assist trophy to graduate to playable via DLC, it would have to be Waluigi. We all know he's like the most popular and controversial assist trophy. For all the memes and spotlight people love putting on the fans who acted horribly and inconsiderate within that specific minority, like any fandom, there are a bunch of Waluigi fans who genuinely want him in. With moveset potential, there's not just the spin-off Mario games to rip from, but characters like Wario, Duck Hunt, Captain Falcon, and others have their own moves improvised and original. Waluigi wouldn't be an exception. People have made him a character in multiple Smash fan projects like Smash Flash and Project M, so the idea within that context isn't impossible. And again, I'm in the minority when I say this. Either that or because of how common it is to get attacked for having these feelings, people are afraid of speaking up if they feel similar. Nothing's a guarantee when it comes to DLC, especially when we currently know so freaking little. If Sakurai wanted a crazy, insane, absolute, mind-blowing addition that would blow people's expectations out of the water, an assist trophy would do it, and Waluigi would be the best bet. Now that's 10 characters, but bonus character prediction, kind of. You know I can't go without mentioning my dream hope character, for as unlikely as he may seem, and for all we know may happen instead, logical or illogical, I don't give a damn my dude, Shadow the Hedgehog. If I had more of my biases slapped over this list, I'd plop Shadow in Steve's spot, and put him next to Waluigi in the assist trophy statement, because of several factors. We knew Echo Fighters were deconfirmed during the pass, but we don't know if that remains true after the fact. And he wouldn't have to be an Echo Fighter as he has plenty of different traits and abilities that differentiate him from Sonic. Chaos Spear, Chaos Control where he teleports, his Roundhouse Kick, his Hammer move, Chaos Blast, guns, etc. You can make him another semi-clone like Isabelle, but different enough to make him distinct and established as his own character, exactly like he is in Sonic games post-Adventure 2. Like Waluigi, he's also one of the most popular assist trophies. He'd be an easy add-on, so many were disappointed when he was deconfirmed last November. At least he can make use of the fact that Shadow androids exist and come up with an excuse like the assist trophy is a Shadow android and make the real Shadow playable. At least that option / excuse can exist. And compared to other third parties in terms of what they have represented in Smash, character and music-wise, Sonic is lacking compared to Street Fighter, Mega Man, and Castlevania, so you know there'd be multiple layers of satisfaction upon an inclusion of him. You know it makes sense. Okay, pretend number 8, Steve, was my unbiased mental prediction because that has a better argument going for his inclusion. But my own desire, my own bias, my heart says Shadow. Okay, now that's 10 characters plus a bonus. Rex, Geno, Sora, Crash, Spyro, and Ubisoft rep being either Rayman or Rabbids, Steve, Doomslayer, Dixie Kong, and an assist trophy, with the likeliest being Waluigi, and keeping Shadow in mind as a bonus /side/ replacement of prediction. But it wouldn't be fair of me to ignore other likely candidates that others may have predicted. So here are some honorable mentions of characters I feel also have as good of a shot as others I've mentioned. Not saying these won't happen, they easily can, they have a good shot appearing post-pass as well, just feel like the others I mentioned will by a little bit more. Most of these are unbiased, 1 or 2 are biased. Like, pretend this is a 15 or 20 characters prediction for this part to make you understand or feel a little better. Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. He's a popular character in Japan being requested, and Sakurai doesn't mind catering to Japan audiences. I'm sure Namco is aware of this as well. Bandana Waddle Dee. Another really popular contender. Piranha Plant proves that even the most basic of characters can make it whether or not Plant was added for the sake of having that ideal as the reason for his inclusion. So the basic enemy debate's been moot. Even then, Bandana D's his own established character with a surprising number of moves if you played the Kirby games. Impa, one of the characters within the field of Zelda requests, feels like Zelda could have used a while ago. Been an established Sheikah member, can wield either swords or fit the assassin motif like Sheik, is beloved by many, can stand a good shot. Karate Joe / Chorus Kids. Rhythm Heaven is another one of those side franchises Nintendo has gained a cult following thanks to the games on Wii and 3DS, and Chorus Kids were a popular pick because of fake Smash 4 leaks, which is why I mentioned them, but Karate Joe logically makes the most sense, and Rhythm Heaven would make for a solid side niche Nintendo franchise addition to Smash, similar to how Ice Climber, Punch-Out, and Xenoblade were. Paper Mario. I omitted him from the list because I feel like Geno has a better shot due to long-lasting and greater speculation popularity, but for all we know, we could get both if we're lucky. It'd be 3 Marios, but we have 3 Links and 3 Samuses, and Paper Mario has plenty of potential to be a radically different Mario, between his hammer for smash attacks, using his partners for special moves, pixels for tilts, and aerials and such, the Crystal Stars, and particularly Showstopper or Supernova as a final smash, etc., along with the TTYD battle stage and even more Paper Mario music. I feel Sakurai is aware of Thousand Year Door's following, along with the first and third entries' amount of support. Hypothetically, Paper Mario would be really killer for a newcomer. Jibanyan from Yokai Watch. He's also another popular contender in Japan, and Yokai Watch has not only gained a stronger presence since the 3DS in early 2010s, but Yokai Watch 4, along with 1 remastered, is coming to Switch, so recent fresh marketing is on the table. Between being a small and nimble character, utilizing other yokai fusions, ripping other moves, and his trademark Paws of Fury, Yokai Watch and Smash would be an interesting take, and Jibanyan is basically the face of the franchise. And lastly, the biased honorable mention, Viridi from Kid Icarus. I know Kid Icarus is in a niche spot where the franchise could be better well known if Uprising Remastered or a sequel came to fruition, and with Viridi not being introduced until the later half of the game, she's also a relatively lesser popular pick. Despite that, I feel there's so much potential to make her a unique character. She has her own staff. There are weapons Pit uses themed after her, such as the Viridi Claws and Viridi Palm. There are powers they didn't use for Palutena they can use for Viridi. Her forces of nature can be used as specials, with the Reset Bomb being a final smash, etc. Unlike the other antagonist that died, Viridi is still alive and implied to be utilized in the future of Kid Icarus, so making her another KI newcomer would serve her character and the franchise very well, along with making another distinct character different from Palutena. And that about wraps up my predictions for Smash Ultimate DLC Beyond the Pass. Again, we don't know how many more characters we may get. Could be 3, 5, 10, or more, but I decided on 10 just to give variety, for the sake of that fighter slot theory, and be open to expectation and multiple possibilities until further notice. Only time will tell what kinds of characters we'll get and how many. But in case I'm right for any of these, you heard it here first, folks. Watch us get that assist trophy playable. Joking aside, what characters are you hoping for or wishing for? Any dream characters you feel won't happen? Anyone you feel makes logical sense? Any of mine you agree or disagree, respect, or think I'm stupid for even considering? Express yourself. Thank you for watching, and stick around for more Smash content and other things Nintendo in the future. Stay super.